Let's make us some beautiful poop cutters.
What's up, friends? Welcome to the video. My name is Negar. This is Gino, the husband.
The husband?
The husband. Okay, I did want to have Gino in this video because in this video we're going to talk about glutes. Everything glutes, how to grow it, if you have like a skinny butt or if you've been trying to grow your glutes and for so long and you keep doing shit and you're trying but it doesn't work. You've watched videos, you've tried everything. This is the video for you because I've been there, I've done that. I used to read all the books on glutes and everything you can think of I looked into until I met Gino and I realized like the actual practical way to grow your glutes is completely different. It's not that fucking complicated as they try to make it be. So I wanted to make this video so you have like a way to you have like a no bullshit way to grow your glutes. Okay. So we also have one microphone. We couldn't find a second one, so we're gonna have to do this microphone tag thing like this.
Well,
Okay.
at least they know we're not fucking scripting this, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely
Take
not
the mic.
scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go. Wait,
Alright.
am I talking first? What are we talking
No,
about?
I'm saying okay. Okay.
You done?
The curls need to be as big as possible.
Hang
Okay, so the way I
Almost
wanted
lost
to
consciousness there for a second.
seriously, are you dizzy? Okay, so the way I wanted to structure this video is I want to talk about the three main things that you have to get down to grow your glutes. If you're missing one of these things, that's why you're not getting the results that you want. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to tell you at the very end my absolute most important secret that's completely life-changing, that actually makes you go from knowing things and understanding and having goals to actually getting the results that you want and like living the life that you want, I guess. Okay, so the first one, there's the three main points are workout, food, and recovery. So let's start with workout. I want Gino to start telling us a little bit about the mindset around the working out when it comes to growing. Because I remember I used to do all the workouts. I did everything glutes. I did 3-4 days of glutes, and I learned all the exercises. I was doing all these bands, all this like anything you can think of. I was doing. I was following every glute guy on the planet on Instagram, and for some reason, I still wasn't getting results after 6 months, after 9 months. So something that Gino helped me was very much with was the workouts that was completely life-changing. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So a big transition for people when they're first starting off and they're really trying to get results, right? They're really trying to change their body. Okay, we'll say like grow your butt, for instance.
Growing the butt
Okay,
is
growing
the most simple. Like growing a muscle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like growing the butt.
Because we're
Growing
not
the
doing
butt.
weight loss, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for growing the butt, right? Like, so what is the biggest obstacle people face, right? It's, well, they're doing the wrong things, okay? The first thing you need to understand, in order for a muscle to grow, because that's what it is, it's a muscle, you need to train it with weight, okay? If there isn't weight applied to it, it's like, think about what a marathon runner looks like versus what a sprinter looks like. Sprinters have more muscle because they train underneath resistance, their power, right? Now, a long distance runner gets really stringy. Now, if you're just doing cardio, well, then you're going to get stringy and you're not going to grow your glutes at all. They're just going to flatten out. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is focus on doing weight training. Okay. Weight training, specifically with something called isolation training. And isolation training means that you're doing exercises that focus on one muscle at a time. A squat is not an isolation training exercise, although you can use it in your workout still. You want to focus on just isolating glutes, like for instance, doing a glute bridge, okay? Doing a glute kickback. These are exercises that when you add weight to it, they focus primarily on just the glute muscle, okay? So you need to make that switch, okay? Another thing is people focus too much on how many reps to do or how much weight they're doing instead of what should really matter, which is how does it feel to you, okay? Because when we put numbers and we put weight on it, we have external focus now. We're not thinking about what we're actually doing anymore. We're thinking about when does it stop? When do we get to the end point of it? How much to do, okay? And it's not about how much, it's about the feeling, okay? It's not about finishing an exercise, it's about feeling an exercise. And when you can really feel the muscle that you're trying to train, that's how you know that you're actually using it, okay? Because then over a long period of time, as we consistently use it, the muscle will grow. So you need to do weight training. You need to stimulate it with isolation training, doing it over and over and over again, and make sure you're focusing on a feeling and not a finish.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really, truly, I'd never trained that way before in my life, even though I was doing weight training. So I did make the switch from understanding that cardio, yes, helped me lose weight, but cardio was not going to make me look toned. So I had already made that switch, but I was doing a lot of exercises and I really didn't understand this concept of training a muscle instead of training a movement. I was just following random workouts, not understanding the point of the actual weight training. And then when we met, Gino exactly explained that. So you're training a muscle. You're focusing on a squeeze and a feeling and what that muscle is and how it feels like to squeeze it instead of just doing a squat or a deadlift or whatever exercise that you're doing. So that's like the number one most important thing to learn. So weight train and train a muscle, not a movement. And then I also want to mention like you also want to train your legs in general. You don't want to like isolation training is very important. You want to have your glute days that are just isolation, or maybe you just add glute exercises that are just isolation. But also, I see a lot of girls that also come to me and train with me that they're like, well, I want to grow my glute, but I don't want to do any other leg exercise. You cannot do that. You have to train the whole leg in general as well, then more glutes, because you have to build up strength. Now, I would like you to explain like why that's I can't really fully get the point across.
So look, it's simple, okay? If you just focus on one muscle, it's like the guys who just train their arms all the time and don't train their legs at all, okay? When you look at that, you're like, that's awkward. Of course it's awkward because it's not natural looking, okay? And if you don't train the legs on top of the glutes, it won't look natural. And that's not good because it
Yeah.
looks fake then. It looks artificial. It looks kind of strange, okay? And
it's
also,
hard to get that result anyway.
it is, but also I think even more importantly, more practically, is it causes an imbalance, right? Now, when you get certain imbalances in your body, you'll start to get pain in your joints. Okay,
Yeah.
you're getting hip pain, you're getting knee pain, you're getting lower back pain. That's because you have muscle imbalances. That's because some muscles are strong because you use them a lot, and some muscles are very weak. And this is why people get back pain when they sit, because certain muscles get very strong from sitting, and then certain muscles get very weak, so they give a certain type of pain in the body.
Yeah.
So the imbalances, and are another reason.
Very good. Actually, now that you mentioned that, there is a lot of girls I know, even in the bodybuilding world, I know like a lot of girls that grow their glutes to a much bigger size than what it should naturally be like for their body, and they get a lot of aches and pains. They have hip pain, they have lower back pain. So what I guess the very important points here that I want to make is I really would love for you to learn to love the way that your body specifically looks. You can always make it look better the way that it's already shaped, in the proportions that it's already like. But a lot of you don't even know how that looks like. I didn't know how that looked like for a long time, because when you have excess body fat, it's really hard to tell like what the actual tone of your body is. But most people, once they lose the body fat, have like more of an hourglass look in general. Most women have the hourglass look. It's just that maybe they have more body fat here or in other places. So again, what I want you to like really think about is, before you start on this journey, like I hope that you learn to also accept your body the way that it is. Like if maybe you have hip dips or whatever, like I have hip dips. I have women come in here and they're like, I want to get rid of my hip dips. And I try to explain to them that you really can't do anything about that. It's your bone structure. So just learning to like love the way that your body naturally looks, and then enhancing it from there and building more on top of that.
Nutrition's nice.
Nutrition. Yes, nutrition. Okay, so food. Food's very important. There's two major problems I see, actually three, that women have. One, they're not eating enough protein. So that's number one. You cannot grow without eating enough protein, and we'll get into the detail of that. Two, they're eating a lot of protein, but they're not eating any carbs. Like they have no carbs in their diet. You cannot grow without carbs in your diet. I know like some of you are so scared of eating carbs, but just trust me, you have to eat. Carbs give you energy, and you have to eat carbs to be able to grow. And then the last one, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was two. Okay, actually the last one is like we will explain how to figure out now how much to eat and kind of the mindset around eating, because it's more than just numbers. And a lot of times people think that like when you go on Instagram, I feel like there's a lot of things about like, oh, macros and this and that. And yes, that's good, but there's another concept that's even more important than your macros. And I want Gino to talk about that.
Let me just make it super simple. I'm going to make it super simple here. Okay.
The simple master.
Yeah. So when you eat food, you're eating it for energy, right? That's the whole reason we eat food. Okay. Now, if you don't give your body enough energy or the right kind of energy, well, then you're going to feel like shit. Okay. Now, if you don't give yourself enough food in general, like the calories are super, super low, okay? Your body fat and your muscle isn't the only thing that uses those calories. All of your organs do. Your brain, your stomach, your heart, your kidneys, your pancreas, your liver, all of these organs use those same calories. And if you don't eat enough, well, then they all function at a lesser capacity. When you're tired, for instance, okay, like that could be for many different things, okay? But I want you to think, generally speaking, all of the organs in your body aren't working well. So, of course, you feel tired. Okay, they're not functioning at optimal capacity. You don't have enough energy inside of the body to do all those things. Okay, so when you're not eating enough calories, not only will you not grow, but you'll actually cause more harm than good sometimes, because now your body has a couple different options, right? It could let you starve to death, which it's not going to do because it wants you to stay alive, or it could start to cannibalize and eat your own tissue, which means it will start to eat your own muscle, the muscle that you do have left. Okay, so you'll actually shrink your glutes by not eating
Why
enough.
does it eat the muscle and not the fat?
Because muscles have more nutrients inside of them. Okay, fat is just energy, right? But all the nutrients that are necessary for all these bodily functions, like all your vitamins and different types of micronutrients, okay? All of these things like are needed when they're broken down from an area like the muscle, right? When you break down fat, it's just for energy reasons, okay? So it's the muscle are more nutrient dense, so your body's going to target those tissues more because it can't break down your organs. Your organs are necessary to live. It'll break down muscle for the excess food and energy. So if you're not eating enough, you'll actually shrink.
Last thing I want to talk about is recovery. And listen, I used to, like I said, I used to do glutes like every other freaking day, like all day, every day for 2 hours. I would go to the gym for 2 hours and do glutes, like way over the top. And like I said, it was actually shrinking my glutes. And this is why recovery is so important. I want you to think about when you are growing, when something is growing, right? And you're giving it food, you don't want to burn all that energy off and more, because then you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose muscle. You want to give it food, but then give it enough that it can actually expand. I don't know if that makes sense.
Let me say, look. Okay, if you don't give yourself enough energy, okay, and you burn more than you take in, you're going to lose weight.
Yes.
Okay, if you're burning more calories than you're taking in, you're going to lose weight because that your body has to adapt to that. It has to get smaller in order to deal with that as your calorie base. Okay, so what she's trying to help you understand is like if you eat too little, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage. You're going to start losing muscle, not growing it.
Okay, actually, we said that in the nutrition part. I'm talking about if you're now doing too much. Let's say you're eating the same, but if you're doing so much, if you're training glutes so many times a day, so for so many hours, so many exercises, you're overdoing it. You're literally overdoing it. It's so simple. You do a few workouts, you do more sets, you do like 4 to 5 sets of the same exercise that you feel the most in your butt, and then you get out of the gym. Like, that's it. You're done. You're going to go rest, you're going to go recover, and then you're going to train glutes maybe in 3 more days after you feel like, okay, it's recovered. Something else I want to mention here when it comes to like planning your splits. I used to plan my splits like religiously, but now it's like some weeks it takes me longer to recover from a workout that I did on Monday. So I'm not going to force myself to do another glute day on Thursday. Maybe I'm still sore. Then I'll wait until like Friday. Do you see what I'm saying? So give yourself some room for flexibility and don't be so rigid, I guess. Don't be so rigid. Listen more to your body. This is all about like you listening more to your body, doing things that works for you, because not something that works for you doesn't necessarily work for other people. And I want to also show you some of my favorite exercises for glutes, but just know that the best glute exercise is the one that you feel the most. That's the best one. It doesn't matter if somebody else is like does an exercise and they're like, oh, I feel my ass, like this is the best thing. No, if you don't feel it, don't do it. Who cares?
Go back to recovery because
But yes, yeah, this is what I do all the time. Okay, but yeah, recovery. Okay, you talk about recovery.
Look, it's simple. Okay. Recovery is rest, okay? If you don't give your body enough time to recover, well, then you're not going to repair that muscle, okay? Your body has 2 things that it does when you damage a muscle from working it out, right? Like it gets sore, right? You can either rebuild it or you can break it down, okay? Rebuild it means that you need to have enough rest to recover, and you also need to eat enough protein, okay? Now, break it down means you're not eating enough and you're not sleeping enough, so your body just has to break down that broken down muscle and eat it, okay? It like just tears the building down instead of fixing it, Okay? So you need to make sure that you're sleeping enough. Now, if you're trying to grow, you need to sleep at least 8 hours. Okay?
Yeah.
Some people are going to say sleep 6. Go fuck yourself. Okay? Like if you sleep less, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage. Okay? And also it'll extend your window of fasting, so it's going to help you burn body fat while you're growing.
And it extends your life.
And it extends your life, right? Like, don't listen to the people who tell you to sleep 6 or 4 hours. Sleep faster.
Don't.
No.
Fuck those people.
No.
Don't take any advice from those
Why don't you
people.
look in their eyes? Why don't you look in their eyes for a minute and see if you want their energy levels in life? Probably not. Probably not. They look miserable.
Yes.
Anyway, so you need to, recovery is all about rest, okay? Making sure you're giving yourself enough periods in between, like workouts, but also enough sleep each night, too. So make sure you're recovering.
Yeah. And water.
Yeah, water is kind of with nutrition, but yeah,
Yeah.
water. Yeah, definitely
Drink
drink
your
a lot of water. That should be a fucking constant. If you're not drinking water right now, I'm going to ask you how you're living, because water is the second most important thing for your body besides oxygen. You stop breathing, you're dead. Okay.
Yeah.
The second thing is, do you have enough water now? Okay. You can go. The longest recorded fast, which is somebody that went without food, was about 300 days. Okay, 300
a
days.
year.
Yeah, it's almost a year. Right now, the longest recorded timeline with someone without water has been 4.5 days. So that goes to show you how dehydration can kill you fast. Okay?
Yeah.
So make sure that you're giving yourself enough water, because the muscles love water and fat hates water. So you'll lose fat and you'll gain muscle by drinking more water.
Wow.
Okay?
That's your secret.
Yes. Now let's tell them
Okay.
the number one secret.
The number one secret. I feel like I'm gonna fuck it up.
You want me, here, let me
I
say
want you to say it. Okay, Gino is the mindset guy in our household. Like, if you
do you
haven't realized it,
Listen.
like he just has a very good way of communicating thoughts. I'm gonna do
Okay,
this.
you're
I'm gonna do this, kind of like my hair.
You got to give people some context.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, I've done this for 12 years, and I have 20,000 hours of coaching people one-on-one. So that is like a double mastery right there. But ready, the number one tip. Well, this is like the fourth thing, right?
This is a secret.
But this is a secret. Okay, so the secret, okay, my secret weapon when it comes to helping people change the fastest.
Yes.
It isn't about workouts. It isn't about recovery. It isn't about nutrition, okay? It's about belief systems, okay? Now, if you don't believe something's going to happen, guess what? It's probably not. It's probably never going to happen, right? If you don't believe it's going to happen, well, then it won't. And so what you tie your identity to will help change your body, okay? Because if you say, for instance, like people that are bigger and they're very overweight, they identify with being overweight. That's why they're still overweight. But if that person woke up the next morning and says, I am not somebody who's overweight, they're going to start making decisions in their day that are much different because they prioritize a different identity, right? Now, in this, if you're trying to grow your butt, or if you're trying to change the way that you look in any way, shape, or form, okay, then you need to change your belief system, okay? You need to start consuming content and immersing yourself with the idea that you are somebody that has the body that you want, right? Put an image of it inside your head and believe it constantly, because belief is what's going to change your body over time, okay? Constantly believing that you're in the shape that you want. It's just like gratitude mentality. Like a lot of religions, for instance, what they'll do is they'll make you practice gratitudes. And that's because what you're doing when you wake up every single day, the first thing that you do is you seed a positive thought into your head. And what happens over time is your brain adapts to having constantly positive thoughts. And then guess what happens? You feel more positive physically, okay? You can positively manifest, growing your butt, for instance, okay? So if it's something that gives you an insecurity into something that you really want to do, then you got to believe it.
And what happens when some people have a very negative mindset? Like on a day-to-day, they're just waiting for the result. They're upset over the fact that today they went to the gym and their butt's not big yet. Like,
Yes.
What does that do?
It's kind of like this. If you wait until payday every single week, your week sucks, okay? Like, you can't sit there and think every single day after you're checked out of your shift, or if you're in sales or whatever you do for work, right? At the end of the day, if you don't see the money immediately into your bank account that you actually worked for, right, you get upset, right? But you got to understand, like, the body is just the same way. It's like you got to wait for payday, right? These things take longer than a week, okay? These things take longer than a month. These things take longer than a couple months sometimes, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to change the body, okay? And that is a very dramatic thing to do, because when you identify in the world as somebody that looks different, you've now developed a skill that most people can never do, okay? So you need to be patient, okay? Be patient, create a realistic goal, believe it, and just continue towards it.
And enjoy it.
And enjoy it.
That's so
If you
important.
don't enjoy the process, then you're going to quit.
Yeah. Learn to love it. Find a way. For me, I think what I found was I found almost meditation in the gym, in weight training. I found like my strength. I found confidence. You know, find something in it that makes you love it. Otherwise, you won't do it. Otherwise, just stop trying.
That thing was me, wasn't it? You found me. That's what it was.
Okay, I did want to add one more thing to what Gino said. Like, I always say, if you want to become fit, you know, like, if you have a fitness goal, like, to me, it's like, think about being a person or becoming a person or becoming an identity instead of achieving a goal. Like, instead of thinking, oh, I want to, like, I want a bigger butt, think like, I want to be someone. I want to be a fake girl. I want to be a girl with this kind of look. You know, like, you become a person. And like, when you identify, when you change your identity, then your mind will make decisions for you that are very congruent with everything that you want from that identity. Should we end the video?
Sure.
Closer, come closer. Don't get so close.
Well, I can't. There's a fucking thing here.
No, it's just come. Just this is good. Turn.
Are you recording right now?
Turn. Of course it's recording. Okay,
Well,
we're
there you
gonna
go.
end the video first.
There you go. The authentic reactions, interactions.
We're not. This is not gonna be in there.
Yeah, it is.
No,
That's the funniest part.
all right, guys. Okay, friends. Okay, girls. I don't know, whoever you are. We're gonna end the video here. I am gonna make a couple more videos on this, like a series. I'll talk more deeply into nutrition and exercises and tips and kind of like mistakes to avoid and stuff like that. But for now, I think this is a great start to this glute journey. So we're gonna end the video here. Do you have any comments?
Let's make us some beautiful poop cutters.
We can't end it with that.
Of course we can.
So inappropriate.